You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Welcome. You know, in our digital world, web development feels like it's constantly accelerating. It's a real challenge keeping up. New tools, new problems popping up seemingly every day. It can feel like trying to drink from a fire hose, honestly. So that's what we're here for, to sift through all that, pull out the really key stuff, the surprising bits, so you can feel informed without, getting overwhelmed. Today is our Tech Tuesdays, WebDev Focus. Okay, let's get into it. First up, I found this great story about, squashing a tricky bug. It really highlights developer ingenuity. Picture this. A C++ refactor, someone does a copy-paste, and boom, a tiny error, a misplaced negation, just flips a condition.
Ah, the classic copy-paste gremlin.
Exactly. And because of it, the system just stopped capturing essential user agent data for one specific build. The stuff browsers send about themselves. Super important.
Critical for understanding who's using your site, yeah.
Right. But the fix wasn't just patching the code. This is the clever part. They added a visual fingerprint, the build's git commit hash, right onto the reporting pages.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. So identifying the faulty data became instantaneous. What does that tell you about making debugging less painful?
What's fascinating here, I think, isn't just the quick fix, but the principle behind it. It's about making diagnostics almost, self-evident. Embedding those unique human-readable identifiers, like the git hash, directly into your outputs, your reporting. It changes everything.
How so?
Well, it shifts the question from a vague what went wrong to a very specific which version broke. Suddenly, error diagnosis is a quick look, not a deep dive through endless logs. It makes logging strategic, not just reactive.
That's a really valuable point, especially given how much time can vanish into just figuring out what broke. And speaking of things breaking under pressure, let's shift gears to scaling. There's this story about OpenFreeMap. They certainly got hammered with, get this, 100,000 requests per second.
Wow, okay, where did that come from?
Turns out a popular drawing site, wplace.live, had built its service using OpenFreeMap's tiles without much warning.
Right, the perils of being a useful open service.
Totally. And while some map tiles did fail under that load, OpenFreeMap actually handled most of it surprisingly well. Their quick fix involved a Cloudflare rule, basically like a smart traffic cop at the edge, to throttle wplace.live's requests.
Makes sense, a necessary first step.
But here's the kicker. They then reached out and offered to help wplace.live set up their own self-hosted tile server.
Now that's interesting. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it really highlights something important. It's not just about having systems that can handle unexpected load, though that's vital. It's about shifting your mindset.
Yeah.
Moving from just block and defend to collaborate and enable. They turned a potential burden into a partnership. That's pretty key in today's web ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've seen clever human fixes for bugs and for massive traffic spikes. But what about the tools themselves? Especially with all the buzz around AI and development. We're seeing some really cool stuff emerge, like Open Lovable. It promises to build React apps instantly just by chatting with an AI.
Yeah.
Needs a bunch of API keys, but still.
AI code generators, yeah.
And then there's Bluefish. It's a JavaScript framework for making complex reactive diagrams using components that feel familiar, like UI components. That's the kind of thing engineers get excited about.
This does raise an important question, though, about where these LLM-driven tools fit in. That's large language models, the AI we're talking about. On the one hand, yes, tools like Open Lovable have almost no learning curve. They can be great for boilerplate, for standards-based code, maybe even fixing simple bugs, especially in, say, strongly typed languages like Rust, where the compiler helps a lot.
Okay, so they have their strengths. But what are the catches?
Well, the current limitations are still significant. They often struggle with really complex front-end work, the kind that needs a deep feel for user experience, which, AI isn't quite there yet. You can end up with code that works, but is maybe overly complex or hard to maintain. And then there's stability. These models change fast, APIs change, pricing models shift. It's still a bit of a moving target.
Right, that's a crucial bit of realism.
Yeah.
So they're powerful assistants, maybe, but not quite magic bullets. They augment the developer, not replace them.
Precisely.
That ingenuity we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
still very much needed. Actually, we dive into tools like these and their real-world impact quite a bit over on my other show, Vocal Technologist. Now, staying on the theme of developer ingenuity, but taking a slightly wilder turn, I read this anecdote about a developer who was literally optimizing my sleep around Claude usage limits.
Wait, optimizing sleep for an AI tool?
Yeah. To maximize their use of Claude Pro for a B2B SaaS project they were building, they adopted a polyphasic sleep schedule, like solo sailors use, short naps.
Seriously? Why?
Apparently, their short naps lined up perfectly with Claude's usage limits, letting them basically use it around the clock and get a massive productivity boost.
Okay, that is extreme. But honestly, it's also kind of a testament to that developer drive, right? Resourcefulness, finding ways to squeeze every last drop of value out of a tool. It definitely makes you think about your own productivity hacks, even if they aren't quite that intense.
What a ride today, huh? We've gone from tiny C++ bugs and scaling maps for huge traffic to cutting-edge AI dev tools and even sleep hacking for productivity. It's quite the mix of practical fixes, collaboration, and some pretty unique strategies. So what's the takeaway for you listening?
Yeah, I think considering how fast things are moving and just how, well, diverse the strategies are that developers are using, maybe the question is this: what's one new tool, or maybe just a different approach you've heard about, that you're curious enough to actually try out this week? Even just to play with it,
Right.
See if it helps your workflow or just satisfies that developer curiosity we all have.
Love that. Keep that curiosity going. Keep exploring. We hope walking through these stories left you feeling informed and maybe a little inspired. Thanks for joining us.
Spoken Tech for your ears.